Jewish mind every year revolved around the same holidays, much like it does for us today. But they were all religious holidays, and they all had religious significance. Some of our holidays don't have much religious significance, i.e. New Year's, it's coming up. Does it have much religious significance? Oh, you could say, okay, this is a new year to plan new things and make resolutions. We say stuff like that all the time. But in the Jewish mind, every holiday had very symbolic and practical outworkings of theology. So this is what we're talking about today. The Jewish mind, okay, this is all good, Paul, that you're breaking this down for us, what we have in Jesus, but what does that mean for what we have in Moses? What about the law? So today we're going to talk about how you're delivered from the law. So what does it mean to be delivered from the law? I'm glad you asked. We'll get to that in a second. First off, the key verse. The key verse today is Romans 7:6. Romans 7:6. Now, this is a departure from the translation that you have in the book here. I'm going to get my ESV open because I'm going to refer to my ESV quite a bit today because the New King James in this passage gets kind of clunky because this is a clunky passage. I don't know how else to put it. The wording is sometimes hard to understand in King James. So I think that if you have NASB or ESV or whatever version you have, it might be a little more fluid and understandable. So I'm in Romans 7 in my ESV, but says, but now we are released from the law. Again, the chapter is called Delivered from the Law, so there's a big difference right there. Released or delivered. Having died to that which held us captive, so that we serve in a new way of the Spirit and not in the old way of the written code. The written code. So what does the book say? If anybody has the lesson, if you did the lesson, this is my daily encouragement to remind you, please do the lesson. Please come prepared. It is important for our time here together. So we're talking about 7:6. What does it say in the King James, New King James Version? The oldness of the letter instead of the old way of the written code. So there's many references to the law as written code, the letter, things like that throughout this chapter. And we'll talk a little bit more about them later. But what Paul is getting at here is we are released. Who is released? Are all people released from the law? Or just Christians? Is this before you, if you're going to become a Christian, is this pre-conversion? Or is this post-conversion? Is a lot of the theme that we're going to be going over today. So, if you are released from the law, does that mean you don't have to keep it? If you're a Christian now, do you have to keep the law still? We're going to get into this. Having died to that which held us captive. What are we dead to? Sin. So we're not talking about died to the law. We are talking about dead to sin. So that we serve in a new